Well, welcome to another Thursday night. So tonight we are going to play with the All About Autumn Designer Series paper and this adorable bird's eye view stamp set. This stamp set does not come with dies. It is just the stamp set itself. So as you can see up here in the corner, I did stamp some of the birds and I stamped the leaves and fussy cut them ahead of time just to save on time. I will color them during the video. The only little bird I did not do was this one right here. He needs to be stamped and fussy cut. So you'll see, well, this one, believe it or not, I forgot to do the inside. So we'll have to figure something out tonight. But this is the one side, hey, of the All About Autumn. And here are the books, the designer series paper with the books in it. It was 3 tiers of books. I just cut one of the tiers out. I embossed these books, as you can see, and then colored them with blends. Stamped the little bird, and you'll notice that I did some clear embossing on his glasses. Hey, oh, excuse me, got the hiccups. I did, hi, Margaret, some clear embossing on his glasses so they look like glasses. And then for this one, I used the beautiful foliage and colored up this little bird and then just did thank you on the inside. I remembered this one. And then I made a little purse for a little pumpkin brownie for a treat holder. So it's just a little purse. And I ran out of Velcro dots. So you can see I ripped it. I was using a glue dot instead. So I'll have to repair that. So let's start with this one here. I'm using the copper clay, which is a really nice color cardstock for autumn. And I'm also using the Blackberry Bliss, which is, a little strange combo, but it actually goes good together. So I'm starting with an 11 by 4 1/4 card base. Okay. And I am going to layer that up with an additional piece of the copper clay. And this measures 5 1/4 by 4. And we're just going to adhere this right to the front of the card. And I'm going to do that. And I'm using some liquid glue just so I have a little bit of wiggle room. Make sure it's on there straight. Can't even, thank you. Yeah, it is. It's a cute little set. I like it. Can't really see it, but when you look at it close, it just finishes it off a little bit. And then we have a layer of the Blackberry Bliss and the designer series paper. And this one measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And this should be 5 by 3 3/4. Nope, I cut it a little smaller. 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, just to give it a wider border. Even the back side of this paper is pretty. Hate to put it down, can't see it, but I wanted those trees. So I hope everybody's doing good. Finally had a day of no rain. It's a little chilly, but there's no rain. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We're waiting on, we've had someone here from the VA putting in a ramp off our back deck And it's funny because our deck is, I think it's just about 50 inches off the ground. And to put a deck have a deck installed, you need a foot of space. Hello, hello. You need a foot of ramp for every inch the deck is high. So they're putting in I guess it's like a 51-foot deck, ramp off our back door. And it has a decking. We have our deck, and then there's a deck for the ramp off it, and then a ramp, and then another platform, and then a ramp. And they're not finished. They've been working on it for a couple days now. And it's crazy, crazy. All right. Now I have this little banner that I'm going to create, and I did the Blackberry Bliss 4 by 1 1/4, and then I am going to use the opposite side of the designer series paper, and this is about 3 7/8 by 1 1/8. And you don't have to keep track of the dimensions. I will have a PDF for you tomorrow. Hey Kathy, how are you, honey? While I'm thinking about it, I don't know if anybody saw my post on my business page. Kathy, while I'm thinking about it, happy Thursday. Can you PM me your address for that jar of addresses so I can send when I, pick my random people each week? I don't know if everybody saw it, but I am going to. So I'm using this banner punch, and I am just taking my designer series paper, and I am going to cut a banner, and I want to get it so my hand is shaking, pretty centered to cut my banner. And that one actually came out pretty good. And I am going to adhere this to the Blackberry Bliss. And I want it to have a little bit of a border with the Blackberry Bliss. I'm just going to let this sit for a second. So I had posted that I am going to put addresses. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to put addresses in a jar, and each week I'm going to pick a random piece of paper with an address on it from the jar and send out a card to the person that I pick. And oh, my hands, I can't believe I can't do this without my hand shaking. Okay, not too bad. And I had a really good response. I still need a few people so I can get to my 52 weeks. I mean, I'm going to do it whether I have 52 or not. But I had a really good response. And that's what I'm going to do starting. Hey, Karen. Starting on the 1st of October, I'm going to pick my first name and start sending out greeting cards each and every week. I'm going to share the love. All right, so here's our banner. I ended up using the copper clay and cutting a deckled circle that's 2 7/8 inch diameter. And then I cut one in very vanilla at 2.5 inches. And I am just, bear with me, I'm going to quick run this through my cut and emboss machine. And let me see where it is. with this basic 3D folder. Okay, so we're just going to set it in there, and I'm just going to run it through really quick. I'm going to take the plates off. So I think it'll be fun. And I saw a few other people had asked if they could do it also, and I think it's such a great idea. I think we need to get back to sending cards instead of just getting texts for birthdays, Christmas, all the holidays. That's what I get. So I think it'll be fun to start a different transition. All right, so I embossed the very vanilla layer, adhered it to the copper clay layer, and now I am going to adhere the banner to the back. And I want it on there so it's pretty centered. All right, so quick and easy, nothing crazy, but we're going to let that dry for a few minutes. Now here's one of the little birds that I stamped on a piece of Very Vanilla, and you don't have to, if you want to be included, Karen, just let me know. I already have your address. I'll add it to the jar if you like. So I just stamped it in Memento, and now we just have to color him up. And of course, I have a plethora of colors to color him in. So give me a second while I pull out my colors. Let's see, we have some green, we have some blues. I wanted to make him really colorful and not so boring, so I picked a bunch of colors. I know, crazy, right? All right. So for this little guy, I have a ton of colors. But what I'm going to do is, for his body, I am actually going to color him completely in with some dark lemon lolly. That's how we're going to start him off. This way, if I have any spots that I did not cover completely, the yellow will shine through, right? Instead of the Very Vanilla. All right, so there's my lemon lolly. Next, I am going to grab a dark mossy meadow, and this is the one I broke. So just give me a second here. I gotta pull it apart because I broke it. There we go. Just being too rough. And I am going to put a dark mossy meadow shadow right under his wing. Oh, I even broke the, I guess I was being too rough. I even broke the tubing so it doesn't close good. Hold on. See, watch. I'm going to end up getting blends all over me. Let me just put that on first. See, I broke this too. See, it's cracked. All right. And then I am going to use, did I use, no, we're going to use some light shaded spruce. And I'm going to come from the back of his tail forward. I'm going to put these away as I'm going along. Then I'm going to grab some dark parakeet party, and I'm going to go over the end of that shaded spruce and just pull it forward. I'm going to actually come up along his wing again. And then we're going to grab that light lemon parakeet party. And we're just going to come up around his belly and under that wing. Crazy, right? Yeah, it does a little bit. I mean, he is a little bright, but I did have him. He was a different color, and then I changed him up a little bit. And so I was coloring even before the video just started. All right, so now I'm going to grab some dark crumb cake, and I'm just going to add some dark crumb cake to his crown. And then I'm going to grab some light crumb cake, and I am going to go over that edge, and then I'm just going to flick some color down. And I'm going to just go over that edge one more time just to blend it out. Okay. Then I'm going to grab, believe it or not, some dark pumpkin pie. I'm just going to go under his eyes, give him some cheeks, and I'm going to do his beak, and I'm going to add a shadow right there, and then we're going to add a shadow down that side. And then I'm going to grab the light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to use the brush, and we are going to just flick some color onto his face. Okay. I'm going to go back to, where's my yellow? I'm going to grab some lighter yellow, and I'm going to go over everything on his body. This has a lot of alcohol in it. So what it's going to do is blend those colors a little bit more. And then I'm going to grab my light crumb cake. And then we're going to do his wings. That's light native navy. Let's try that. So let's do his wing. This is light azure afternoon. I think this is the one I use. We're going to just flick some color from that point. And then I have some balmy blue. This is dark balmy blue. And I'm just going to continue and flick some more. And then this is light balmy blue. I am just going to color in his wing completely. This way it'll just all blend together again. Aw, thanks, Kathy. Oh, okay, Karen, that would be great. I think that would be something that I'm going to do next so everybody can participate. I think that would be a great idea. Now I'm just looking. I have to get the branch, so bear with me a second. I did not stamp the branch. Let me just move this out of the way. I got so much stuff here. All right, so I'm going to just grab the branch. Of course, I forgot something, right? Never fails. And I'm just going to use this scrap because I'm going to have to fussy cut really quick. And I'm using early espresso. And I'm just going to stamp that branch with early espresso. And then we're going to grab our light crumb cake. And I am going to color the branch in completely. And not really being too fussy. Let me go to my bag of tricks again. I have every blend, I think, out. Now I'm going to grab, nope, that's not the one I want. Sorry. I think I want pecan pie. Yes, I want pecan pie. And this is dark pecan pie. And very carefully, I'm just going to do a line of dark pecan pie at the bottom. And then at the bottom here. And then this one here. And I'm just going to pull it in, okay? Then I'm going to take the light pecan pie, and I'm just going to extend that line out. And it's really not that much lighter than the dark pecan pie. And we're going to do it here. And then I'm going to put a line of light pecan pie at the top. I'm going to go back to my dark, and I'm going to add a darker line. And I'm not really worried about it being a straight line because it's a tree branch. It has different lines in it. And then I'm going to go back to my light crumb cake, and I'm going to just go over the whole branch again because the lighter color has more alcohol in it, so it will help it blend together. All right, so now we are going to just fussy cut this out, and this should be simple. I thought I was all prepared. Best laid plans, I guess. We had an appointment at 8:30 this morning. Bill had an ultrasound, a liver ultrasound. So that's what we did this morning. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think tomorrow is a free day. I didn't check my calendar, but I didn't get any text messages, so I think tomorrow's a free day. I think after I do my blog post and the PDF for tonight's cards, I think I'm going to clean my house. That's like always last on my list. All right, so there's our tree branch. And then I'm going to pull in our leaves. And I'm going to grab that parakeet party. And we're just going to quick color them in with parakeet party. And I'm using the brush because it's much smoother and I can just do 2 swipes and then the leaves are colored in green. Whoops. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to grab the pumpkin pie, dark and light. And with the dark, I'm going to just add a little dark pumpkin pie to the ends on all of the leaves. And you can add as much or as little as you want. It's just a little bit of a shadow. Then I'm going to take the light pumpkin pie and I'm going to go over that edge and just extend it out. I want some of the green to show. Okay, so I'm just going over, over that edge and extending it out. And then we have our leaves done. Free day. I don't really know what that is like, so we'll find out. Okay, so now we can pull our card back in. And I am going to add some dimensionals, and we're going to pop this up onto the front of our card. Actually, a free day of not going to doctors. I definitely won't be sitting around, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to put this on the front of our, it looks like it's off a little bit. Let me scoot it over. Okay, then we're going to take our branch and I am going to add some glue just to the center. And we're going to just put it right about there because I want it to stay on the front of the card. Now for the leaves, I'm going to put some glue in the center and I'm going to tuck it under the end of that branch. Then I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to add some glue and I'm going to tuck it under this branch here. So it looks like all those leaves are attached. We're going to grab our little bird and add some dimensionals. And we're going to pop him on the branch. And take our last set of leaves. And I'm just going to stick it under his tail. Let's grab some of this textured ribbon in the copper clay. We'll just add a bow. How's everybody doing? Ah, thanks. If you notice, I did the orange on the tips on this one, and I did it at the bottom of that one. So just that little difference changes the whole look of the leaves. So that's me not paying attention, I guess. So it just goes to show you there is no right or wrong. You do it however you want, because I'm sure there are many times I do things different each and every time. So this is really heavy ribbon. So I actually have larger glue dots. They're not from Stampin' Up. They're glue dot. And I like to use that for this heavier ribbon because it just does help them stay on a little bit better. All right, now I'm going to grab some of these gold embellishments. I'm going to put one in that corner, one in this corner, and there is the front of our card done. Okay. Yeah, that's true, right? It's technically right. All right, so for the inside, okay, we have some copper clay. The matte layer is 5 1/4 by 4, and the vanilla is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now you'll notice that the bird's eye view only has images. There's no sentiments. So I actually pulled out the nested friends and used some of the actually the thank you for this card, and then I used for the other card, I have all my stamps here, the by my side, I used the you did it, and hopefully it's all right here. So let's grab that thank you, and we're going to grab some copper clay. And if I remember correctly, this is not, let me just check. Yep, it's got to come down just a hair. So we'll stamp thank you. And then we're going to do a repeat of those leaves. I have some mossy meadow, and I'm just going to stamp a set of leaves there, and a set of leaves here. And pull out those markers again. So we're just going to quick color them. This one's light parakeet party. And then the dark pumpkin pie. Okay. And the light pumpkin pie. Now, if you wanted to have those ends blend a little better, all you would have to do is go back in with your green and go over that edge. And as it dries, it'll just blend it a little bit better. Now we can grab some seal that I actually refilled. Oops. Get our very vanilla on here. Add some glue. And put it on the inside of our card. And it is finished. So there is our first card. Thank you. All right, so that's card number 1. Now we're going to jump to card number 2, which is right here. So we're going to start again with our copper clay. This time it's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and we are going to use it landscape. Now, this is the one I didn't do the inside, so we'll have to think of something to do. And this time, instead of using trees, we're using the opposite side. And we have a copper clay layer, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, 5 1/4 by 4, and 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And all we're going to do is adhere all these layers together. But what I'm going to do first is lay my designer series paper down on the Blackberry Bliss first. Okay, then we're going to grab a piece of Blackberry Bliss, and this is 2 1/4 wide, and it's 5 1/4. But I think what I want to do is I want it to be, at the end of this layer. And then we have our books, which is 2 1/8. So it looks like I cut the top of these books off here. So I'm going to just add some glue, and we're going to add this designer series paper right to this Blackberry Bliss. So we're watching another trial. I don't know if you've been here before. You know we watch a lot of trials on the Law and Crime channel on YouTube. And this one is about this little girl. I think the name of the trial is Who's Taking Care of Maya? All right, so I'm just laying this down on the front of this layer. Make sure it's straight. Just going to scoot it down a little bit. And then we're going to just let that dry for a second. But it's about a little girl named Maya. And she was in the hospital. And the hospital, I think, went over and above what they should have been doing. They called Department of Child Services. Her parents weren't allowed to see her. Her clergy wasn't allowed to see her. She wasn't allowed a computer to do schoolwork. I mean, she wasn't allowed to see her attorney. She wasn't allowed to see anyone, actually. And during this time, they accused her mother of that Munchausen. This is copper clay, and this is the designer series paper All About Autumn. It's the opposite side. Well, this one is green, but it's I don't even know what's on the other side of this, to be honest. Do I have another piece? Oh, here we go. It's the other side of the books, believe it or not. Nope, that's a lie. That's a different pattern. But it's the All About Autumn. Yes, it does. All right, so we have our layers on now. So I can grab my glue, and we're just going to adhere this right to the front of the card. Just want to make sure it's on there straight. All right. Then I did a copper clay scalloped oval. I did a Blackberry Bliss oval, And then I have a very vanilla oval, and I am going to, let me find my embossing folder. I didn't even emboss these today. Just gonna quick run this through. Thankfully, it's just all set up, and I don't even have to worry about it. I'm trying to see if I have a little piece of, I think this is very vanilla. Yep. Gonna have to cut it down. And we're just going to layer these all together. There's a few layers of different cardstocks and designer series paper, so I didn't want to pop up everything, because I am going to pop up this whole oval piece, and then the books and the little bird is going to be popped up. All right, so there's our oval, just all layered together. Yes, the books are in All About Autumn. It's really a really pretty set. Let me see if I can pull out a pack here. Let's see. I don't know if it's a whole pack or not. Oh, nope, it's not here. Here it is. I really like this set. So it has sweaters. I'm going to just move that. So here's the sweaters. I did the little llama with this set. And then it's got the pretty peacock. And then autumn leaves. And that's Dusty Rose. Is that what it's called? Let me look. No, Moody Mauve. And then the pumpkins. And more pretty peacock. And then just blue. On that side. Trees. And here's the copper. That's the one. It's a path of trees. And then the copper in the back. More leaves. And there's mossy meadow. And here's a big thing of books. And then more trees. Wood grain. This is pretty too. And then the books. I guess I must have used all. Oh, here it is. Here's the books. This is the books. So I just cut out the strips to use. So it is. It's just a pretty set of papers. All right, so we're back to this oval. And I'm just looking, what did I do? Here it is. I was going to say my pokey tool got up and walked away while we were talking. All right, so we're just going to center this on the front of our card. And then we're going to pull in our little guy. All right, and he is going to go pretty quickly. I am going to change him up a little bit, though, because I do not really care for. I use the crumb cake on his body, and you really can't see it that well. So for his face, I'm going to use the light copper clay to stay with the theme color of the card. And I'm doing inside the glasses in the light copper clay. Then I'm taking the color lifter and I am going to color over the whole area I just colored. Now you could do the opposite. You could color it with the color lifter first and then use the blend if that's the way you want to do it. Then I'm going to take the dark copper clay And I'm going to just make a shadow under his glasses, just like that. And then I'm going to take the light copper clay again, and I'm just going to fill the area in, and then I'm just going to get the top of his head. Okay, so I just want behind his glasses to be a little lighter because he's wearing glasses. Now for his body, I'm going to use the wild wheat, I believe. I'm just going to, I'm just going to color it in, only because the wild wheat looks like gold. So I'm just going to color everything up. Okay, his little beak, let's put his beak. There we go. And then I'm going to take the dark wild wheat and I'm just going to go over these lines that the artist drew. Not in his glasses though. I'm going to put a shadow line and a shadow line. And then I'm just going to go underneath these lines here. And then I'm just going to go back to the light wild wheat and just go over those lines to blend them out a little. I'm going to take this color lifter and I'm going to do that wild wheat in his glasses. All right, so now he's all colored. I'm going to just put him aside for a second so he can dry a little bit. And we're going to do our books. So I have some reds. We're going to start with Poppy Parade, and this is light Poppy Parade. And I am going to color in the first section, the middle section, and the end. Now I'm going to take dark cherry cobbler and I am going to put a shadow at the bottom of the book. Then I'm going to take light cherry cobbler. I'm just going to extend that color. Okay. I'm going to turn it. Yeah, it really is great paper. Turn it around so I can see that line. And this is the light cherry cobbler again. I'm going to go back to the Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to add the color to the center. So now it looks like the book is rounded a little bit. All right. Then we're going to go to the next one. This is Dark Misty Moonlight. And we're going to put our shadow color at the bottom. And I didn't even color in my color, huh? Let's just finish it off. Let's color it in so we have a base color. See, I don't do it the same each and every time. Here's Light Night of Navy. Is that what I used? Nope, I used Misty Moonlight. All right, here's Light Misty Moonlight. I'm going to do the top of the book with a line across. Turn it, and I'm going to extend this dark Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to add another dark line of Misty Moonlight. And that's Light Night of Navy. Let's see what that looks like. Nope, too dark. Trying to see what color I want. Let's do Balmy Blue. So I'm just going to go over the edges and fill in that center and let that all blend out. And then we have some greens. We have light and dark. We have light old olive. We have light mossy meadow. Oh, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to open this up again. This is the dark mossy meadow. So we're going to put in a dark line of mossy meadow. We're going to put in a light line of mossy meadow. And then we're going to do a light old olive right down the center. For the books, the red book, I have some dark wild wheat. We're going to go top and bottom. And then we're going to grab the light wild wheat. Where did I put it? Right here. And I'm just going to color it in. All right, for the top of the book, believe it or not, I'm going to color it in with light old olive. Just like that. Then I'm going to take the light mossy meadow, and what I did was I put the little bird on top. Let me see if I have my pencil here. And I don't. Where is my pencil? Oh, here it is. All right, so my little bird is going to go right about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark with my pencil. And I'm going to take my light mossy meadow, and I am going to color in a shadow on the top of the book. So when I put him on here, there's going to be a shadow under him. Okay? I'm crazy sometimes, but that's what happens when I'm in here. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Versamark, and I'm just going to put a little dollop of Versamark, and I have this pokey tool that I got from Karen, and you can use a paintbrush, but I couldn't find one when I was looking. And I'm going to actually use this side. We're just going to spread this Versamark, and I want to just get it as thin as I can, but I want to cover all his glasses. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now you want to be careful you don't use too much. Like that one I do think I used too much. And then we have some clear embossing powder. Just going to grab a sheet of paper and we're just going to cover his eyeballs. I'm going to do it again. Now I did put it on fairly thick. So what's going to happen, it's going to bubble up a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so now he has on a pair of glasses. Now, like I said, I did use a lot of Versamark, so he is going to be just a little bit tacky. So let's do the You Did It, and we're going to stamp it in copper clay. And again, this is from By My Side. So we're just going to stamp it. And then I'm going to grab that punch that I love so much that is retired. So I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. And I'm going to just pull it up so it's right at the end there. And give it a punch. And while I'm looking at it, I have some ink on my nail. And I'm actually going to trim it down. Pull in our card. All right, so we're going to grab our books. And you'll notice the books in the designer series paper, it looks like they have gold. That's why I embossed it in gold. So here's our books. And I am going to add, I don't want to tip over my bird yet because his eyeballs are probably still wet. And we're going to stick him right on the front. And then we're going to grab the You Did It. Gee. And we're going to stick it right under there. We're going to add some of these adhesive back solid gems. And I'm actually going to put a large one in this corner and then a medium and a small in this corner. And then I have a few small ones. I'll put one right there. And this time I'll put one here. All right, so there is the front of our second card. Hey, Cindy. How are you, honey? And there we go. Now for the inside, I didn't come up with anything for the inside. I think what we'll do is, let's just stamp. We'll try to tie it in with the other card. So let's stamp a branch Look, I did it again. Let's grab those leaves. And let's grab a little bird. Let's see where he is. We'll use one of these little smaller birds. And we'll do them in memento. At least I remember to do it at the right direction. I usually forget. Alright, so we're just going to leave that bird black and white. We won't color any of the images on the inside. But he's tied to our first card. Let's grab some glue. That just disappeared. The stuff on my desk, I need a homing device on them. They seem to like walk away. All right. So there is card number 2. All right. Check out those glasses. They're so cute, aren't they? Thank you. Oh, here it is. All right. So now we're going to jump to the little purse. And I think I need one more piece, so give me a second. All right, where is it? There we go. I just need 2, 1, 2. A little handle. All right, so this is that sprig punch. I did one in the designer series paper and one in that gold paper. And we are going to start with the base of the little purse. It is 5 by 5 1/4, and it's scored at 3/4 from each side. I did 3/4 and 3/4. And the 5 1/2 side is scored at 2 1/4 and 3. So we're going to fold and burnish. This is the little box portion of the purse. Okay. And we're just going to cut some tabs. This is pretty quick and easy. So we just want this tab in the center. Take those out. And turn it around. And I like to cut on the outside of the score line. So we cut that score line out completely. So I'm getting back to the trial we're watching. Reason I brought it up is the mother was accused of that Munchausen, and she was so distraught that her daughter was in the hospital for like 3 months. The hospital refused for the family to be able to see her. And it was John Hopkins, believe it or not. And the mom ended up committing suicide while her daughter was in the hospital. So we've been watching this trial, and it is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. There is a documentary about it on Netflix. I'm not going to watch it until the trial is over, though, because I want to know exactly what happened. All right, so we did our tabs. I added tear and tape to the outside, to the tabs, and then turned it over and added tear and tape to 2 of the sides. Okay. First, we're going to take off these pieces, and we're going to attach it to the end that does not have the tear and tape on it. Okay, here's the tear and tape. We want to attach the tab to the other side. And then we're going to take off the papers on the longer tear and tape. And we're just going to adhere the sides together. So here is the seam. We're going to make this the front. And we're just going to adhere a piece of Blackberry Bliss 3 3/8 by 2 1/8, and then 3 1/4 by 2 for the designer series paper. So we're just going to layer these 2 together. And then we're going to add this to the front. All right. So while that's drying, our flap is 4 by 3 1/2, and this is 3 1/2. Okay. And it's scored on the 4-inch side at 1 3/4 and 2 1/2. So we're going to fold, and then you'll notice there is a longer side. That is going to be the back of the purse. What we need to do is, this is the scallop from the scallop contour dies. I'm actually going to take this, and I'm going to try to center it so the scallops, the piece on each side, it's about even, and then the scallop is even with the bottom piece of the cardstock. I'm just going to put some washi tape on there, and I'm going to quick run this through my cut and emboss machine really quickly. Where's my other plate? There it is. All right, very carefully remove the washi tape so we don't ruin this layer. We want to be really careful. Sometimes it's not sticky, and sometimes it's so sticky. All right. Then we have a little piece that is a 1/2 inch wide, and I actually cut this one at about 4 1/2. And I'm just going to score it at, whoops, a 1/2 inch on each end. And then just fold it. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to give it a little curve. Okay. Let's add some glue. Now, if you don't want to wait for the glue to dry, you can use tearing tape. We're just going to lay this on the top of this piece, trying to get it on there as even as possible. And we're going to let that dry. In the meantime, I'm going to grab some gold gem and add it on there so it looks like a brad. Okay? Now we can grab our box again, and we're going to add some glue to the back. And we're going to adhere this to the back of the piece. You want to make sure it's even. And it looks good. And while I'm just going to put it on the edge and just make sure. All right. Now, if I had some Velcro dots, I would put a Velcro dot under here to keep it closed. But in the meantime, just so it's closed, I'm just going to grab a glue dot and add a glue dot. And like I said, this fits a little pumpkin brownie. All right, so here's our purse. I'm just going to trim this a little bit. We're going to add some glue. I'm just going to add that to the purse. This one, I'm going to cut off that bottom leaf and add some glue. I'm just going to offset it a little. All right. And then, let's see. I didn't do this little bird. Let me just grab a piece of berry vanilla. And here's the little bird. And he's so sweet. I'm using copper clay. We're just going to stamp him right there. And we're going to pretty much do him the same way. We're going to grab some dark lemon lolly. And we're going to color his body in completely. So we're doing him pretty much the same way we did that other little guy. If I can find all my blends. Because I think I put them away. This is dark crumb cake. So we're going to put some dark crumb cake at his crown. And I don't see my light crumb cake. Here it is. And we're just going to extend that color down. And then I'm going to grab some light pumpkin pie. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do his beak in dark pumpkin pie. And I'm looking at the time. Sorry, ladies, that I'm running over. And then for his tail, we're going to do that same, a dark green, dark parakeet party, and light parakeet party. And then we're going to go back to that yellow. And we're going to go over those ends. For his little wings, we're just going to take, there's my light balmy blue. We'll do it quick. That's light pool party. Here's light balmy blue. Let's just color it in a light balmy blue. And then with the dark balmy blue, I'm just going to go under these feathers. Leave it at that. Grab my scissors and just give them a quick fussy cut. So he matches that one little bird. And when I got to his feet, I did actually try to cut them out just a little bit. So there's not so much very vanilla. And then we're going to just grab one little dimensional and add him to the front. So there we go. We have a little purse, and then our little Poindexter, and our sweet little songbird. So I hope you like these cards tonight. I really had fun with these. They were really cute. I think I have Fun Fold Friday tomorrow, and I actually, here it is right here. I actually have it all ready. So thanks for joining me tonight. If you'd like these make and takes, just spend $35 in my store using that host code. If you'd like to be included in my weekly card sending, check out Gal Friday Stamping. There's a post with a jar in the photo. You can read all about it right there. Maybe I'll even post it in the group. And I'd love to add you to your address to the jar so you can be included in my weekly card mailing. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 for Fun Fold Friday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry I kept you so late. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.